All right, so it's another very beautiful Saturday night, and we are right back here to have conversations about sex. Tonight we do it all over again. My name is Natalia, and tonight our topic for conversation: why can't I orgasm? And this is a question that I know a lot of women ask from time to time, or almost all the time, because, why is it that this is the situation I'm having to deal with when I have a man, when I'm married, when I have a partner, this and that. And we're going to break it all the way down tonight on Duvet. Again, my name is Natalia. Do not forget we're streaming live on all our social media platforms. We are on X, we are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, and we are on Facebook. Tonight, my guests, I have Ami Shika, who's a sex coach. Ami, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great. I feel so sexy.
Okay, absolutely. And I know that this conversation is something that you would completely break down because this is your field as a sex coach.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have Dr. Dennis Botte. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
You look really good.
Thank you.
What have you been doing? Like, we need to get into the details of... You look younger each time I see you. Yeah, like, are you aging backwards?
I don't know. The people keep saying it.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting some gray hairs or something. And it's like...
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay,
I just take good care of myself.
Yes.
I watch what I eat. I try to cut out a lot of things that are junky.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll give us those tips a little later on. And then Abna Benewa Fosu, who's a feminist activist.
Yeah.
Abna, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So let's jump straight into it. Why can't I orgasm? I think I have told the story. It's a personal story. I've told it a couple of times before, but let me say it again as an opener to this conversation. The very first time I had sex is because I was influenced. Because I had a group of friends who would always talk about it. Because at the time they had, and I wanted to be so much a part of the conversation because I didn't have any experiences to share. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to. And I found the person that I was going to use for that experiment. Who was in my neighborhood. I mean, he didn't really care for me or none of that, but I felt like, but because we're cool, so maybe I can, use the boy. And so, yes, that is what happened. And I have to say that I was so disappointed, extremely disappointed, because when we were done, I had so many questions like, is that it? Is there more? Like, is there something I missed? Like, what is wrong? Is something wrong with me? And all the way from there to, I would say, to a very larger part of my sex life, I never found answers to that because each time I feel like, maybe the first time it was again and again and again and again. You start like a proper relationship and it's still the same. I'm like, people talk about this being like so fantastic, but I'm not seeing the fantastic. What is going on? It took a while for me to actually find it. And I'm sure that there are some people who may not have found it and will still have questions like, what is going on? So, Ami, tell me, what is going on?
Okay, so let me start with, a lot of women actually start off like that. Because me, it took years before I got to a point of like, enjoying sex fully with a partner. Because initially, I didn't even see the point of, like, there was a time that I wished I could tell my boyfriend at the time in uni that whenever you want to have sex, go ahead and find someone to do it. It won't make me mad because I didn't see the point of doing it anyway. In the end, you are benefiting from it. After we're done, I'm like, okay, so what was that? It took me learning my body, understanding that women should be able to experience orgasm too. Understanding that the clitoris is there for a reason. Like it's the only human part, but it's the only part of the human body that is meant to give us pleasure. The penis, men pee from the penis. For the clitoris, it's just there. For orgasms, pleasure. So why don't we utilize that? A lot of us, when we start having sex, we don't know that. We don't even know our bodies. We don't masturbate. It took me giving myself an orgasm to be able to experience an orgasm with a man. I always say it to people that, I mean, for women, masturbation sets a stone. It gives your body the experience of an orgasm so that when you are like in a session with somebody else and you are getting there, you don't hold yourself back because your body is kind of used to experiencing an orgasm or getting to that point sexually. So that's one thing that everybody should know, that like as a woman, masturbation is a big foundation to getting to know your body, knowing what works. So that, I mean, you can communicate. Because if you don't know and they're doing anything to your body, they might be working with their previous partners. Do you get it? And men too, I mean, we didn't get comprehensive sexuality education in school.
Right.
All of us, a lot of men are using porn, what they hit. So he's also very clueless and you're leaving it in his hands. You see, a lot of women, we just leave in the hands of the man. Initially, me too, it was like that. I thought the man should know.
Yeah.
So if you knew, then you could tell him, okay, do this, do that, do this. And then it's easier to be able to like experience orgasms. So I mean, I feel like mostly it's because we don't know our bodies. We are very ignorant. Some women don't even know orgasms exist for women. They think it's an elusive thing that like it's made up. Because, I mean, some will tell you that biology requires men to have an orgasm to have babies. Do
Right.
women need to have orgasms to have babies? No, people use that angle, which is so
Right.
false because I experience orgasms. So, yeah, I think it's ignorance, not knowing that orgasms exist, not knowing that you should be able to experience orgasms. And some women blaming themselves. Some women think there's something wrong with them. So they don't even try to find ways to enjoy sex. Yeah.
All right, Doc. So, again, back to my experience. And I'm sure that there are people who are in that space. They may even be married with
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 children and still may not have experienced orgasm.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that situation?
There's a lot wrong. I've had people who come to me and women, they've been married, have 3 kids. They don't even know what they're talking about. And I remember, I'll give you this example. There was a time a woman was leaving my office, and this woman is hippie, you know, curves. She got to the door and then turned back, and so I was like, doctor, so I do not, I want my hips maybe brain, and I looked at the woman, I thought that she was even too big, that it could have health implications for
Right.
it. So I said, madam, come, sit down. Why would you have this size and still want more? I was like, oh, my husband has been going after other women, and they look bigger than me. So I'm thinking, so when I started, I said, okay, let's talk. So I asked a few questions, and after having had 3 kids, she has never had an orgasm before. I mean, the background of I'm having sex to please my husband. The sex is just for the man.
For the man.
That's it. And I was like, okay, so have you done crazy stuff with your husband? I mean, is it always in the bedroom? So no kitchen, no bedroom, nothing. I mean, quickies. She doesn't even know anything about that. I still say, you see, if you said your husband goes after slim girls, I'm saying maybe he wants the slim girls, but he goes for big ones just like you, maybe a little bigger. That means that they do something or they know something you don't know. So it buttresses a point that a lot of times because of ignorance. Women don't know what orgasm is. They don't even know their bodies. They don't know where their pleasure points are, their erogenous spots are. And again, sometimes even where they know, they don't even communicate. They want the man to be the one to look for where it is. You are in
Treasure
there.
hunt.
Master. My point is that you are going for the gold. You go namafefe. You know that's you have to, there was a Ghana footballer. I say he takes the ball now into the 18 yards. Say, I'll say go namafefe, go namafefe. So when you go to have sex, you are going there to have orgasm. So it's not like now that you want somebody to be experimenting and going from your ear to your navel to where when you know that
They
just
should,
lead
though.
him there. You know, let's lead him there. But it will take too long for him to be trying to find out. So communication is very important in you achieving your orgasm. So don't, when you think that your erogenous spot is on your clitoris and the man is around your ear, pull him away from there, put him to the right place.
Direct his
So-
head.
Exactly. And like she said, if a woman, like a lady who was like, it's her nipples that gives her orgasm. So for her, it's like if her nipples are held tightly, not too painful, but tightly, and she would want the man's tool to be in between her breasts, that she orgasms down there. Strangely enough. So if you're a man and she doesn't tell you this, or you don't know this, you'll be down there mining in the gold mines,
Digging
and
gold.
you won't feel anything. So it's important that the communication is apt. The community is apt about where your pleasure points are. And it's important that a woman should know her pleasure points. For most men, we are just a few. Probably, I mean, your penis, the head of your penis is most sensitive, your nipples, one or two other places. But for a woman, it can be so many places. So I think that, one, women don't know knowing their bodies very well. And again, even when they know, they don't communicate it well, and they expect that the man should be able to find out and give them orgasm. It's about communication as well.
Right. You need to communicate. Okay, Abina, let me come to you. Doc mentioned something about, I mean, obviously women not taking their time to, explore and find this out. And I think early on, before we even signed on to the show, we were talking about the fact that a lot of people are disgusted with the idea that a woman should touch themselves to try to find, their spots and the things that they are comfortable with and uncomfortable with. What do you say about that?
I think everybody should find themselves sexually, including women and men. The challenge is that we've weaponized and demonized women's sexuality so much. Everything Ami said, everything Doc said is true, but it didn't happen out of a vacuum. Ask yourself why men are so confident in their sexuality, why they are happy to explore, why they don't mind bragging about how many women they've been with and how many women they've made scream. It's because we've created the enabling environment for them to be that confident. Even when it's so wrong in certain instances, they still do it with impudence because we've enabled them. We haven't done same for women. And I keep telling women their sexuality, I'm a woman, our sexuality is very political because it's something that's been weaponized to have power over us, to have authority over us. That's why a lot of women think sex is something that is done to them and not done with them. And, we tell women, if you masturbate, some spirit being will marry you. If you touch yourself, you are making it impossible for a man to be able to please you because you are so used to pleasing yourself that you won't allow a man to please you, which is very false. The thing about spirituality is also very false. If a girl touches herself, she's a bad girl. Jai, don't do that. You are going to be spoiled and no man would want you. If I remember the last time I was here, we were having a conversation and you gave an example of how a friend told you that if you're a very sexually experienced woman and you happen to be with a guy for the first time, don't go all out. Take your time, hide certain things.
Ease him slowly into it.
Exactly.
Because they don't like the,
that you know
jump,
too much.
You
how,
jump.
How do you know too much?
You jump from 1 to 100, and you will scare them away. Doc, isn't that the case?
So a lot of men would be scared.
They will be scared.
She's too experienced.
Yes, so you need to
Where
ease
did
them
she learn all
into
these
it. You
things
go
from?
maybe 2 to 4 to 6.
Yeah.
So that by the time you get to 100, he's familiar.
Exactly.
So it's
we're
cultural.
we're pushing all these narratives, and we still expect women to know what to do to themselves or with themselves and be able to direct men. You're not allowing them to learn that. So how do you expect this from them? It's like expecting a woman to be a virgin and still know how to be a freak in bed. Like, what do you want? Do you want me to bend over backwards? Like what?
I have a story.
So.
A friend of mine mentioned that when she was a virgin and she was going to have sex the first time with the guy, she tried to sit on top and he said, "How are you a virgin and you are sitting on top of me?" So he doubted the fact that she was a virgin because as a virgin, you're supposed to lie down and open your legs. You shouldn't know other positions.
Exactly. So I also want to add that maybe this will come up later, but the thing about men fearing sex toys, it's a fact
Is it
that
fear?
it's their ego, but it comes out as fear. It's okay. So why do you want to use a sex toy? Do you mean I'm not enough? it's either that, or if you're used to sex toys, it means that I'll never be enough for you because, you know, my penis can't vibrate like a vibrator does. So you are setting me up to fail. These are things they say, all right? And, you know, it's a fact that not every woman orgasms through penetration only.
Yeah.
Some women would never, regardless of what the penis, even if you have a magic penis, that alone cannot make them orgasm. Some of them feel their penis is magical. That's how they think they'll have sex with a woman and it will humble her. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, it's a thing.
Well, so I think that for women or men should also understand that the penis getting into a woman does not automatically guarantee orgasm, because orgasm is actually stimulation of the sex organs to the point of a release. Now, so the man's penis in there is actually he getting his stimulation. There are some women who can actually have vaginal orgasm with the penis as well.
Yeah.
So if your penis is getting the stimulation and the friction in the woman's vagina, and that leads you to orgasm, ask yourself, where is the woman's penis as well? And I said it over and over again that the clitoris is actually the woman's version of the penis.
Right.
Yeah.
If you look at the way it is designed or the anatomy of it, it has a small head like a penis. It means that if it wasn't for the fact that if that woman were to have come as a man, that would have elongated.
Right.
We call it sexual differentiation.
Yeah.
That would have elongated to become the penis, and anything else around that would have become the scrotum or the
Yeah.
balls. So it's because of that. So it is important that you know that the woman also has a version of the penis, which is very, very sensitive. It's more sensitive to them than the vagina. So even if you are in the vagina of a woman and you can still stimulate her clitoris as well, it gives her more pleasure, and you are likely to achieve more results.
Right.
There are times when maybe you are busy in a certain position, your hand may not be able to touch the clitoris. Allow her to be able to do that stimulation for you, because you would want both of you to have the same pleasure.
Right.
But the point is that when during the act, and maybe the woman wants to touch that place, the man feels like, hey, you know, what are you doing
Yeah.
when I'm there? So just get to know as men that orgasm is not necessarily always vaginal. It is clitoral as well. In fact, there are a lot of other sports where people can have
nipples.
orgasm. The nipples.
Okay, go.
To add something before Doc came in. And I'm glad he mentioned that the clitoris is also very sensitive. So I'll just add the statistics. Statistically, the clitoris has over 10,300 nerve endings.
Right.
That's how sensitive it is. The penis only has about 8,000, a little over 8,000. So women's clitorises are more sensitive than the penis. So if men think that, the penis is so sensitive, like they feel it because they know how sensitive it is, they should think about double that for women. So it's really not difficult to please women. It's very, very, very easy. I don't like it when we have conversations and they're like, women should do this, women should do that, women should do that. It's sex, it takes 2 or 3 or 4, depending on what you're doing, right? But if it's just you and a partner, it takes 2. It takes conversations. And we understand, and like I mentioned earlier, there's a reason why women find it difficult being expressive. And I believe that if men can ask from women what they want women to do to them, they should also be able to ask women, what should I do to you?
Yeah.
Right? So what do you want me to do to you? Men need to understand that if Akosia likes her nipple being sucked, it doesn't mean AC likes her nipples being sucked. So, and I know a lot of the time they're so intent on pleasing because it also boosts their ego.
Yeah.
So if you are going to aim to please to boost your ego, do it right. Ask her, where should I touch you? Where should I kiss you? Do you like to be choked? Don't go and choke. Ask, do you like to be choked? Do you like this?
To be spanked?
Exactly. Like have those conversations. Ask what needs to be done so you can do it. I mean, they can tell you point blank, give me a blowjob before we start, right? So if you can say that, you could also ask her what she needs to do. Right. I was earlier talking about how some women can't orgasm through penetration only. Also, the statistics are there. Globally, only about 75 to 90% of women cannot orgasm through penetration only. Like, I'm not sitting here making it up.
Yeah.
It's less than 30%.
Yeah, it's... Oh, that's huge. 75% to 90% cannot orgasm through penetration alone.
Based on that, based on these statistics, then we can comfortably say that a lot of women fake orgasms.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
but I think that's part of the reason why people cannot orgasm.
Yeah.
Because you are faking, and then he's thinking everything he is doing is right, and now
Yeah.
it's setting the stage for your all the
future faking.
yes. So now all the years you've been together, he's been doing the same things he's been doing from the beginning. That
Right.
you've been screaming and saying, "Yeah, I came, I'm gonna come," and now like he thinks that's just what you need to have an orgasm. But I mean, it's not too late. Even if you've been married for over a decade, you can change things. Yeah,
Things
you
can
you
change.
can change things, because I mean, you used to fake it. You just find time and then ask your partner. You can tell your partner, I enjoy this and that about what we do sexually, and then but then sometimes I wish you would do this and that. Or you can ask, if you're a man, you can ask your wife, okay, so what do you think can make our sexual experiences better? Or the one time you enjoyed it, what did I do so I can repeat it? So that, like, I mean, it gives you a chance to change things. Please don't settle, I beg. Sex can be nice. And life is nicer when sex is nice.
Yeah, I mean,
But women also usually fake it so they don't hurt the egos of their partners. They don't fake it for themselves.
Mostly.
yeah.
It's like if it's dragging on too long and it's not enjoyable anyways, let me fake it so we get it over with.
Over and done with.
Get it over and done with.
And also, a lot of the time also, they really, really want to talk about it. You know,
But they don't know what time.
it's not the time. They worry a lot about how the man is going to feel about
Yes,
it.
it's usually about the ego of the man.
I have been in a relationship that ended because my partner never got over me saying that the sex is boring and something needs to be done about it. So the ego thing, it's a thing. And so, like, women are not worrying for no reason. They know that if she communicates, and you have to be so subtle and try to be as nice as possible. Else,
Fragile.
like, yeah,
You know, like, ah.
I remember speaking somewhere, and I was speaking to the church, and they were talking about sex. I mean, to the men. One guy was saying, no, baby, no. Position. I said, no. Men should change the thinking that they think it's about pounding.
Yeah.
It's not about pounding, and it's not about putting the woman in the certain... Well, when you find a position that makes a woman come vaginally, fine, that's okay. But don't think that because you flipped her, you did that. If you don't know where it is, the acrobatics, I mean, sometimes it's for the acrobatics. Sometimes I say that it's for the, for the record. You want to record.
Yeah.
This one I do some before.
Yes.
But it's not because of flipping positions. But you can have one particular position. And I keep saying that sometimes men think that it's by just going. No, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes just being in there, like that, a lot of pressure, deep pressure.
Don't move.
Don't move. You don't move. And you can just turn yourself. It gives a different sensation to the woman. So it's not about no. Sometimes you can just be there. Once you're hard and you are just pressing. Sometimes, we have this thing called the G spot, where your fingers can go in, and the upper wall. That's the same thing. If you can, with your male organ, your penis can go there, and you are just there, and you're able to. I mean, if you have a curved dick, it helps.
It's possible.
You can just get there, and then. If it scratches that place, she could really have it. So it's not all about turning so many positions or think that I rammed and still she didn't come. No, it's not that.
It's not that.
I don't think they do that.
Okay, so
They
we're
do the
going
pounding.
we're going to go on a break, but when we return, let's talk about the fact that some men seem to think that the longer
Longevity, yeah.
I
Go.
do this woman, the better. And I hear people talk about ridiculous things like, oh, I was doing this for 30 minutes and stuff, and I'm sorry, I can't do the math. I don't know if the 30 minutes is just pounding a person, because listen, we're going to go on a break. This is Do the GHOne TV. My name is Natalia. Tonight, I'm with Amishika, I'm with Dr. Dennis, and I am with Abena. We will be right back. Do stay tuned. All right, welcome back. This is Duvet on GHOne TV. My name is Natalia. I am with Shika. I'm with Dr. Dennis, and I'm with Abina. And tonight we're having a conversation about why women cannot orgasm. Why? Why is that? We've said a few things, but we're continuing with the conversation. Before the break, I mentioned that some men seem to think that, oh, the longer I go, it's like, you know, I've had conversations with men, some of my friends, and they'll say ridiculous things like, yeah, Charlie, me, I was doing this for 45 minutes, 1 hour. And sometimes I can't even ask the 45 minutes, is it plus or minus foreplay, or is it just like, what is, give me the math, because I cannot understand. Personally, anything past 5 minutes, in fact, even 5 minutes is like top tier for me.
Really?
Yes. I'm sorry. Anything past that is a bit troubling for me, you know. I mean, if we can do that in a few sessions, that works for me. I'm not, and also because there's the general notion that every woman wants hours.
Yeah.
Why?
Which is wrong.
Why? Where did men come up with that idea?
Because, you know, there's this thing that it takes longer for women to come.
Right.
So the longer you go, the chances of they coming is higher. But my
Right.
friend, you can go 30 minutes and nothing will
Nothing
happen.
will happen.
They are not. They keep focusing too much on penis and vagina.
Exactly.
That's just
Exactly.
one
Yeah.
out of the many things you can
Exactly.
do sexually. So for saying that it takes long for a woman to come, fill the menu with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oral sex is there, nipple stimulation,
All of
kissing,
that.
rubbing, all that should come to play. Focusing too much on the penis going inside the vagina takes away from it, because the vagina needs to be wet and ready. And it takes
Before.
the extra stuff for the vagina to be very wet and ready. And then let her beg you to go inside.
Yeah,
It's-
but here's the thing, though. I again, I feel like the penis and vagina action, right, should not be so long if he's done the prior work.
Yeah, yeah.
It won't take so much time. So for me, when I say 5 minutes, I'm actually talking about penis
that.
and vagina.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everything before there, it can even take 2 hours. I don't mind. You know what I mean? Because then you're prepping
Yeah,
me
exactly.
for that 5 minutes, so that 5 minutes is everything. But if you, and the thing is that the men don't like to do the prepping you.
Yep.
They don't want
They
it.
think it's boring.
Yes. So even if they are doing that, they are doing rather that for 5 minutes and want to enter you for
For
an
30
hour.
minutes.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know how men came up with that idea.
I think we should
So-
teach them to get to the point of the woman rather asking you to penetrate, so that you're not rushing yourself, because when they play with you for a while and they see you're getting wet a bit, they think it's time to penetrate.
That's the thing.
Once they
see
touch you and they
foreplay
feel
as
like
just
it's
taking,
wet.
taking
Yeah.
things off the list.
Yeah.
So okay, we are supposed to kiss before I go inside you. Okay, take. I have to kiss your neck. Okay, take. I have to do this. Okay,
Yeah.
so like they're just taking items
Yeah,
off
it's
the
a
list.
checkbox.
Yes,
Yeah.
instead of just seeing it as like a big part of the process.
Okay.
A lot of them, their reason for thinking this woman is loose, this woman is tight, blah, 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 is mainly based on how the foreplay goes.
Right.
When there's no, like the vagina lubricates itself. So when a woman is turned on, she's wet.
Yeah.
Going in is easy. You can go in and out so like very easily. When that happens, for a lot of them, they say you are loose.
Yeah.
Like your vagina is loose. Because they are so used to not doing foreplay to the point where the woman is so wet they can easily enter, they just go, like the woman they've been with, it's dry, and so there's that friction. So they feel like, she's so tight, she's so tight. and so when
She's
they
in
meet,
pain.
yes, she's in
Yeah.
pain. And some of them actually enjoy the pain. When they see you in pain, they feel
think
they are
they're doing
doing, yes,
something.
they're doing something. And that's
Like,
why a lot
oh, the
of them,
expression on her face is like,
I should be
ooh.
enjoying it.
that's
Yeah.
why
But
a lot of
I say
them
that
do
there
the,
should be
the
communication.
yeah.
So when
No,
you are in
can I
pain,
say this before you continue? So the pounding they do, for a lot of them, they are doing it to get a reaction from you to boost their own egos.
Right.
So they're pounding. They want to see you act like you're feeling it, even if it's pain. They're like, oh yeah, I'm doing you, see, and they'll be like, I'm doing this.
They want
There
to
was
feel
a
like
video.
they won. It's
Yes,
like, it's like a
yes.
war. They won. So
Yeah.
They want to make sure you are in pain, you can't walk again.
Hey.
That you feel defeated.
Yes,
That's
that's
the
why
thing
they
they
say, I will, am I allowed to say fuck?
Okay.
Yeah, they'll say like, I'll fuck you so much that like you go cripple, like I can cripple you. The next morning you cannot walk. And that's something they
Does
feel
that
so
happen,
proud.
though?
I mean,
sit on
if
hot
they're
water.
hurting you, that will happen. There was a video I watched on TikTok. So many people, like the sound became, like it went viral. So many people, I don't know if any of you saw it.
What
It
was
was
that?
a sound of like a guy having sex with a lady. And the lady was like, is there a question or something? Who pray me? Who pray me? It went viral.
And he kept
People were
going.
used, and he kept going. And at a point, like she was in pain. You could tell she was in pain, and the guy kept on going, and people found it so funny. And I watched it. I'm like, how do you find this funny? How do you think that another person being in pain boosts your ego in any way? But that's how,
They've used
again,
sex,
men have been socialized to feel powerful, to feel like
Like
they are in
they defeated
control.
you. Yeah.
That's why I said earlier that women's sexuality has been weaponized. That's why a lot of things are done to women. Like if you want to control women, control their sexuality. So the way she dresses, if she can't be sexually expressive, she doesn't feel powerful that way. If she can't say certain things about her sexuality without people saying, oh yeah, shawo, she can't feel powerful that way. And so women's sexuality is only important when we can capitalize on it for profit. So we want somebody to come and look sexy for a photo shoot so we can promote this event. That's why when they're doing the pool parties, it's women's boobies out and asses out. We use women's bodies to promote things, to sell. So it's more of capitalism. So you can only be sexual if it's benefiting some corporation, some man's business. You can't be sexually expressive. So we do this
For
to women
yourself.
for yourself, for your own benefit. No, that's a taboo. You can't do that. But we still expect women to be freaky in bed and come out and so that's the thing they say. Something in rather than a hole in the sheet.
A lady on the streets and a hole in
A
the
hole in
sheets.
the sheet.
Yeah.
How do we get to that point when you are making it like you are basically making it impossible for me to want to be that expressive? Where do I go and learn that from? You go and learn porn, and then you come and you can't even kiss. The whole experience is based on you, and that's one of the biggest problems. They watch porn, and porn is very male-centered. That's how men learn. A lot of men learn how to have sex, and porn is very male-centered.
Previously,
It is.
I think there are new content that are,
But do they watch that?
yeah, that's
Because that's not what they like. They like to see a woman choking on a man's penis. They like to see, one girl and two men, and they're giving her in the mouth and wherever, and she's struggling, fighting for her life. And yeah, that's it. And I want to do this. And
I
so
want
when
a
they are
woman
with-
who can give me that.
Yes, and so when they are with a woman, then they also, somebody mentioned this earlier, that yeah, some women, they like it hard. Not all women like it hard.
yeah.
Some women want to be choked to the point where their pupils are dilating, and that's how they feel pleasure. And that is legitimate. That's what she wants. Do that for her. But don't transfer that to every other woman you meet, such that, like you meet a woman who likes tantric sex. She wants to be kissed. She wants to be tender. That's how she enjoys sex. But because this is what you've learned from another woman, and also you, Ankasano, the porn that you watched taught you that bang, 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 bang. So you go and then you're doing that, and you can tell that she's so uncomfortable. They don't check in.
yeah, like the community.
But isn't
They
there
don't
also
check in during sex.
Isn't there also, the case that there are some days that you just want to be wild, and there are some days where you just want to be tender.
that's very
That's
safe.
Because
That's
I
applies to
have
me too.
days where it's like, even if you throw me to the ceiling, I don't mind.
Yeah.
And then,
There are days where you want to
then-
love me.
Exactly. And then
But
there are the
even
days
in one
where,
session,
You're
even
right.
in
One
one
total.
session,
Yeah.
you may want a mix.
Exactly.
That's also fine. So, you communicate. That's why I mentioned check in.
Right.
People don't communicate when they're having sex. And also a lot of the men, it's like when you are talking, why are you talking? Like you are distracting me. You're making me lose
that.
Oh, you
focus.
have.
You are killing
When
the
he would
mood.
tell me
Yeah.
not to say it, that talking turns him off.
Oh.
When you don't know that talking, I might be telling you that I'm uncomfortable or do it this way. But, and
They
then
don't even read body cues.
The women are saying
then after that, it makes you feel a certain type of way. So does that mean when we're having sex, I cannot communicate? But there's a side to it where like, that's their legitimate reason. Maybe when you talk, but you can have a sign where you tap.
Yeah.
You can both agree on a sign that you do during sex so that the words don't come out. Because maybe that is legitimate.
Non-verbal communication.
Yes, non-verbal should work. But then the way you put it can push, like, make your partner feel a certain type of way that because of what you said, whenever you're having sex, even if there's something they need to tell you because they're in pain, uncomfortable, they'll never say it because you made them feel a certain type of way the first time they try to communicate. But if you say it in a nice way, or when you say it, it turns me off sometimes. So you can wait after, or we can choose a sign. Maybe you tap me multiple times, and then, like, it brings me, like, it makes me realize that, oh, I've done something that you didn't like. Let me do it the other way. Or we pause, we talk about it, then we continue.
I would add that we should normalize checking in.
Yeah, checking in.
Abna, you mentioned something about this audio that went viral on TikTok where she was saying that uprami. And I know that sometimes for some men, it's a situation where no matter what you say, it feels like, oh, I'm doing a great job.
Yeah.
No matter what you say. It's like, he feels like, you know?
They say that pain is sweet.
Yes, yes. Whether you're saying you're hurting me, whatever you're saying, in his mind in that moment is like, ooh, yes.
That thing that they said, when a woman says no, she actually means
yes.
Or when they say jadia, it means that
yes.
really continue what you're doing. But it's not true.
It's not true.
When somebody's in pain, they're in pain. I mean, you could have gotten a cut or a tear somewhere.
Sex shouldn't be painful.
It shouldn't be. Not at all. So
unless
I think that this conversation is actually very helpful for men to understand that it's not what they think that makes sex enjoyable for women. It's for women to really, I mean, we always say that a man would eventually orgasm. I mean, mostly he would ejaculate. But for a woman, it's different. Her body is so intricate, it's so complex that you need, and it's work. Unless, of course, you are not into that person, you just want to do anything and walk away. But if you're into that person, you would want to find out what works for the person.
There's a side to that, too. A lot of men, they really do not care about the women they have sex with.
No, they don't.
They don't.
It's more about using your body to get their orgasm and their pleasure. So your pleasure doesn't matter because he doesn't care about you.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Once he's done having his orgasm, then it's time to part ways. Then their post-nut clarity comes in. Because in that horny moment, it's like, okay, that's a woman. I can have sex with you. Yeah. So we should be having sex with men who like us. But how do you even know for sure?
Oh, that's another whole conversation. How do you know for sure? So a friend of mine was telling me about how these days it's so tricky to know who likes you because these days when the men are, checking for you, they come in guns blazing.
Love bombing.
They do, oh my God, they do it all. They will listen. You don't have to say a word. Baby, I've got you. They do it all. And it confuses you. So you're not sure what is not or what, you know what I mean? And then if you mistake a crack and you slip through the cracks, that's it.
That's when you start seeing like another side of them.
That's completely it. Then that is when you would hear all the excuses in the world. Like, oh, phew, my dad died this morning. But by night he resurrected. Yeah. And I had to travel to here and there. And listen, you hear things you've never heard before. Because now they are checking for someone else. Yeah. Your time is over.
It's not cool at all. Some people lie. I have an experience. Somebody made me think he was into cuddling.
Right.
I would go to him to cuddle. He would say, come and let's cuddle. All that. After a while, he told me he's not into cuddling. Cuddling is not his thing. And I said, what kind of deceptive behavior is this?
He just wanted to get laid.
I wouldn't be with you. Why would I hang with you when I know I can't get there? Because I like to cuddle for after.
Oh my God.
But now, I was like,
your gender,
they
are doing the most.
Oh, I was like, I will sit you down. I'll tell you, this is very deceptive because I started hanging with you in the first place because I thought you liked things I like. But it looks like you were telling me you like things I like just because you wanted me in your bed. And now that you still want me in your bed, you're not even trying to do the things that I like because now you think you've bagged me already, which is so not fair.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't even know. Don't say sorry.
But it's painful. I think it's very painful.
It is very painful. I totally agree with that. And I want to believe that there are lots of women who can relate right? Men these days will love bomb you. Listen, they will do the most, right? They will give you love for days on end. Like you have people coming to your office back and forth, delivering this and that, giving you this and that, saying all the right things, doing all the right things, only for a moment. And then after that is like ghost.
But do you know that's why some women never give it up? They string you along because they know that if they give it up, they lose all the nice things.
Yeah, but does it really matter? Because the thing is that these days the men don't hang on for too long. Maximum is like 3 weeks. If he thinks you're wasting his time, there are so many women available.
True.
Because even as he's trying to get with you, he's trying to get with 4 other people at the same time.
Yeah.
So if he feels like, Charlie, you're going to waste my time, on to the next. Really. Ain't nobody got time for that. He's gone.
Time no day.
Time no day. But it's such a confusing situation because now you don't even know who likes you and who doesn't.
Yeah, that's
Honestly,
the
these
thing.
days, when I find that even when I go places and people smile at me, I get upset. Like, honestly. Like,
PTSD.
it's so... The minute I see you trying to smile at me, it upsets me. I will look the other way and never look your direction again because, listen, I'm not even ready. I'm not even ready for any kind of wahala, you know? And it's same script, different cast.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same thing. You're just reliving it with a different person. It's like, enough.
Yeah. You guys brought me here to.
We should, no, the thing
You are the
is,
main power.
we should,
No, but
normalize
Doc,
men
are you
being upfront what
familiar
they
with this
want.
new trend?
I understand, and I don't condone it seriously.
I'm tired of it, Karen.
I understand what is going on, and for me, I think that a man's main aim should be to give a woman pleasure. It should be your ultimate aim to have whatever it takes, and it shouldn't be you prescribed. It shouldn't be you, the man's prescription.
It should be about her.
The woman's prescription.
Can we talk about the mind?
Like,
Yeah, I've been, because it's
I've
the
been
most
wanting
powerful
to say
sexual
that.
organ.
and yes, so one of the things is the mindset as well.
Yeah.
And there are some times when the connection is not there.
Yeah.
So you are a man, the woman is really not connected to you. And just yesterday, I was having a convo with somebody, and I was like, "Why are you still where you are?" I think I'm losing myself, but if I leave, who's going to take care of me? So she's not into the man, but yet, because of the support she gets,
Security.
I would have to be there just like that. No connection.
That's a lot of
You know,
people's
so
reality.
yes,
though.
so I texted her. I said, I know there are a lot of people who are even married now, and they are not enjoying anything in the marriage, and it's just because of the support or the fear of the fact that I won't have any support if I leave. So even if the man is cheating with 10 women, let me just be there like that
Because he takes care of me.
But there's no connection. So these two people, the man will just come and pound. She will never have an orgasm. So the mindset is also part of it. And again, I think that also go in there. And firstly, I think that the men and the women should have a conversation. We keep saying this all the time. It should be frank. And the women should put our ego aside and listen to the woman. What actually helps her?
Will they, though?
That is why we are having this program or this conversation, that men should listen to the woman. Because you, a man, you can go in 5, 10 minutes, whichever way, but not every woman. So find out what works.
Okay, can we put sex aside and look at the several other ways that you can make your partner feel loved so that they would want you sexually? Because if your partners, if I don't feel loved by you, or we are dealing with relationship issues, there's conflict, mentally I might not want you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Always.
sometimes it's not even just about the sex. You can do all the right things. If the other things that the relationship requires are not in place,
Yeah.
That's right.
we're not going to be okay.
Yeah. If you're always lying to
even-
me,
yeah.
if I'm finding out all the uncomfortable things you have done or keep doing, there's no way you would I won't be turned on for you.
Exactly.
I cannot.
And even with the sex, it starts in the mind
Exactly.
way before the activity itself,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of men also don't understand when we say this, and we've been saying this for so long. If you plan to have a sexy night in the evening, you don't go to work, forget she even exists.
Like, you ignore me the whole
day.
And come home
and then you
looking for
come
some.
home and you're looking to have some spicy night. No, you're sitting in your office, like right when you left home in the morning, you could have texted, babe, I'm looking forward to tonight. Within the day, send her, spicy
I
messages.
missed the
Remind her,
last time,
I can't wait to I can't wait to see you this evening. Like, flirt with her throughout the day. By the time you're on your way from work to the house, she's already wet.
She's excited.
She's
Yeah,
excited.
you soften her mind
yeah.
to soften her body.
Exactly, and it's not going to take you 3 hours of pounding to make her come because she's already in the mood. She's already relaxed. She's already looking forward to it. And like you were talking about earlier, it depends on the richness. I mean, how rich your sex life is as a couple also largely depends on how rich the relationship itself is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're loving each other, if you're caring for each other, if you're giving her peace, they always say, I want a woman who will give me peace.
Are you giving her peace?
Are you giving me peace? Right? Why are you putting that job on me? Are you giving me peace? Are you making me comfortable enough to want to take care of you? And there's a thing they say that if you are nice to a woman, she will submit to you. She will do everything for you. It's a human thing. If you are nice to a human being, they are nice to you.
Yeah.
They would want to make you happy because you're making them happy. You're making them comfortable. You're making them want to think beyond themselves, right? And so it's also the same thing for in relationships. If you're making me comfortable, if you're making me find you attractive, it's a thing they don't know.
Yes.
That if you don't treat a woman well, she stops finding you attractive.
Exactly. There's resentment.
Yes,
Yeah.
she begins to resent. If you're not making me want to eat you up whenever I see you, how do you expect me to enjoy sex with you?
Are you helping her out at home?
Yeah.
Are you leaving
One
all
of
the
the
burden
things
on
that
her?
I find that women really like, and this is because of, especially the show and also people that I speak to from time to time, is that women like that you check in.
Yeah. I
Women
like that.
love that you check in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And men seem to think that women liking that is women checking on them or checking up on their moves.
Yeah.
And that is such a miscommunication, and there's always a certain argument about that. It will never make sense to me that you're married to a woman or you're dating a woman and you go the entire day and through the night without saying nothing to her. I would imagine for me, I wake up at, 5 a.m. throughout the day till another 5 a.m. I'll imagine that we have broken up.
Me too. It's like, we're not together.
Yes, I was saying that. I will ask myself, are we still together? No, because it will
say we are
never.
dramatic when we ask that question.
It will never make sense to me that you cannot tell me that from 6 a.m. of Monday all the way to 6 a.m. on Tuesday.
I didn't cross your mind.
Yeah, it didn't cross your mind. Like, you have been so occupied by God knows what that you couldn't spare a minute to check in to say, oh, babe, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, are you okay? It's such a difficult thing for you. I'm sorry, then there's no way we can be in this relationship. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. And
It's
say,
impossible.
you're needy.
But there are some men who would argue that no, but if you say that, then why you are being too, what is this? It's like,
You're being needy.
no, but do you not hear
I
that?
understand that is true.
They will say that,
They
only
must
one
be so
day.
busy.
But I spoke with you the previous day and stuff like that. I'm like, no.
They see you as emotionally high maintenance.
Nah, it shouldn't be like
But
that.
I love being emotionally high maintenance.
Me too.
I'm such a communication person.
Yep.
It's in the way I do everything. Okay, like if I leave home, I will call and check in on my kids like a million times. So sometimes, even when I leave my kids with my mom, sometimes when I call, she'll deliberately not pick up and say, it's okay, they are fine. You know what I mean? I'm big on communication.
So your
there's-
partner should...
So I cannot be with someone who can go a whole 24 hours and not communicate with me, and I would imagine that we are still in that relationship. I'll think that maybe we broke up through the night.
Yeah.
So let me go and find a new man. I'm sorry. Because it just doesn't make sense.
It's a thing with a lot of men that they only try to be loving when they want to be sexual. That like some people, like when you're married, they don't try to cuddle or touch you in any way.
And the only time they come
get
close to
when
you,
they want to have
oh
sex.
my God.
Yes, because I like cuddling. I like to be touched, the holding, hugging. Sometimes you want to enjoy it for that.
Nothing
But
else.
then there's some men that they only touch you when they want to have sex.
Yes.
And they leave you lacking because I wanted more of the physical. I mean, the sex is nice too, but all the other forms of physical intimacy are great and very valid.
But it's also true that, I don't think Ghanaian men understand the concept of cuddling. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak. I
touch
haven't.
them.
Let me.
They want to ask you.
I don't think I can say. I don't think it's a fair thing for me to say that Ghanaian men because I haven't been with every Ghanaian man, but at least the one or two, is enough for me to say that.
Majority carries the
I
vote.
think that our traditions
We're
and
going to go on a break, Doc.
Okay.
Let's go on a break. And then when we return, we continue the conversation. Very interesting conversation here tonight. We're talking about why women cannot orgasm. Some women cannot orgasm. And we're trying to fix it, trying to let the men understand how important it is that you pay attention to your woman. And if you go 24 hours without communicating, the relationship is over. And that's on period. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Hardened. Too hardened.
All right, welcome back. This is Duvet on GHOne Television. My name is Natalia. Tonight, I'm with Ami Shika, I'm with Dr. Dennis Bote, and then I am with Abena Benewa. Great conversation about why I cannot have orgasm. Not me, Natalia, but women. And we have talked about so much. I think before the break, we were talking about the fact that typically for men, when you want to have a cuddle session, it has to end up in sex.
Yeah.
Why, Doc?
Yeah, so I think sometimes our cultural environment also plays a part. A lot of people probably in my age group growing up probably never saw parents or doing cuddling, showing affection in public. So I'm sure you've been to Europe or America. People easily kiss by the roadside.
Yeah.
They are in elevator, they kiss. There's nothing about penetration about that. You sit there and think that, hey, these people, they are going to do it too. No, but for some of them, it's just the thing.
Yeah.
So in their environment, so cuddling becomes easier for them. But you grow up, you never saw even your mom holding your dad's hand, walking. So all you know is that they are just giving
When it's
birth
time,
after
they do
you, and that baby is coming. How this happening? So you are likely to grow up same way, thinking that Charlie, a friend is saying, there's a term you use, papa, so you are likely to grow up that way. But if you understand the fact that there's a lot more to before penetration, there's a lot more to sex. For women, it's about the intimacy, the touch, the kissing, the lickings. All these things matter to them more.
Yeah.
But the penetration, I keep saying, the penetration is for you, the man.
Yeah.
The penetration is for you, the man.
Some women love it though. But
Yes,
yeah.
but mostly it's for the man.
Yeah.
Someone can orgasm through it. There are people who have multiple orgasms with
Yes.
penetration.
The
Yes.
penis,
Depending how it's done, they can have multiple orgasms through there. And they can even squirt through that, all that. So, but for you, it's for the man, that's what is going to make you eventually come. But it won't make every woman come. So look for the other things, communicate with, and be passionate, be sensitive to the woman. Find out what really works for you, because they are faking it because they know that you are not happy, they are not coming, or they are not happy, they are not having orgasm. So they'll fake it for you. But if you would really take your time and take your ego off and feel that I'm pounding, but when you communicate well, find out where to touch, what to do. They just cuddle. And let's learn to just, spoon. Just like spoon.
Yeah.
And not...
Yeah, let's learn to enjoy.
So there could also be the case that maybe there's a man who is, walking about feeling like, he's the business. Because a couple of women along the line have told him that, you're able to do this and that, but all of that are lies. And in actual fact, he can't do shilly. But he doesn't know that. Because women like to do the thing where
they fake it.
we fake it and we say all the nice things. You made me feel this and that.
Or the pee.
I saw a post on Facebook that said, you can fake the moaning and all, but can you fake the leg shake?
Girls fake
it. Sir.
Listen,
anything is fakeable.
I think the only thing a woman cannot fake is death. That's
Yeah.
extreme. And maybe
Yeah.
and maybe a heart attack, that's also extreme. But anything else, trust a
We are
woman.
capable. When I see those comments, the thing I say is, we can fake the moaning, we can fake the leg shake, we can fake the digging your fingers in the sheet and everything, even on your back and everything. We cannot fake the lubrication.
Yes.
A lot of men also don't know that women ejaculate. When women come,
Yeah.
there's a creamy, there's also the colorless, sticky one.
Yeah.
When women are wet, that also
Yeah.
comes.
Yeah.
If you are having sex with a woman and she's screaming like she's enjoying,
Yeah.
but it's still so
And you're-
tight,
yeah, you're
and it
feeling the
even feels
friction.
dry,
Yeah.
how are you believing
But
that?
there's a side to that. Because as women, a lot of things can influence dryness.
True,
Your cycle, your age.
Yeah.
Because as
True.
you age, your hormonal imbalances, all that,
Yeah.
an ailment or a drug you're
True.
taking, a medication you're
Yeah.
taking, can make it hard for you to lubricate naturally. So you could have an orgasm and still be dry.
Yeah.
That's something
But
we need to let
typically-
out.
But
Yeah.
Typically,
yeah.
there's lubrication. So if a woman is enjoying, and see, this is why I always say that instead of telling women, teach him this, teach him that, we should also make men understand that they need to learn and understand women's bodies.
Yes.
If you understand a woman's
is
body, she
crucial.
doesn't even have to
Yeah.
say anything. Like when you're going too long, she begins to get dry. If she's a woman who doesn't like going too long, the longer you go, she begins to lose interest and she gets dry. So you begin to feel more friction. That should tell you, oh, she's not enjoying it. Do I check in? Do I try something else
That is
try
not their
to?
focus at the time. Their focus is the
No,
pounding.
exactly.
And the fake moaning they hear.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
"Oh,"
Yeah, so
that
and
excites
the
them.
thing, right?
You know, I
and the
wanna
thing
say
with
that-
the intimacy.
We're going to go and check what our sex position is.
Okay.
Doc is laughing so hard.
Today you're on the main. I can see you're on the main.
It's the fake moaning for them. They get so excited by it, you know. Okay, well, not a break, but we're checking out what our sex position is for the week. Do stay tuned. Sex position of the week. The ascending position. First, she should make her lover lie on his back. Then, she should sit cross-legged on his thighs, seize his penis, and guide it inside her. If she then moves her waist up and down, advancing and retiring, she will derive great comfort from the process. For her, it is easy for her to have an orgasm in this position, but he can help by sliding his hand between her legs to caress her clitoris. For him, there is the raunchier option of her stroking herself whilst he watches, something that is likely to add to his already heightened state of arousal. It is raunchy because it is all about her pleasure. She can feel him deeply inside her, and if she moves forward or backward, different erotic pressure points are stimulated in her vagina. Meanwhile, he can lie back and relish the sight of her enjoying herself. All right, so that is our sex position of the week, the ascending position. I mean, you're familiar with this.
Yeah, I like being on top.
You
so
like being on top. Okay.
It puts women in control.
Okay. Doc?
Yeah, that's very true. So, I mean, put them on top, let them do what they want to do. And
Okay.
sometimes a lot of them will actually come in that position
Yeah.
because you are not the one driving and thinking that what I'm doing is the best thing for them.
You
Yeah.
can drive from beneath sometimes.
Yeah,
so-
you know,
Yep.
complimentary whilst it's on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually complemented.
Abena.
Yeah. I mean, my comment on that is that men need to learn to multitask.
Yeah.
Because from my experience, a lot of them can't multitask. If they're doing, like, he's enjoying this, the moment he tries to do something with his hands or his fingers, he loses focus and then it gets messed up. So, like, men should learn the art of sex.
Right.
It's not just penetration. Learn the art of sex. Learn to please your partner in different ways, not just different positions. Learn to use other parts of your body beside your mouth and your penis. Learn to be able to be doing this and doing that at the same time. I mean, women do it. We're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing that. Men should learn that. Because, you know, like the narrator mentioned, that while she's doing that, put your hand here. They're focusing on their pleasure and that is it. And they can't do any other thing. Do things.
Yeah. Do things, explore. Okay, so that's it for our sex position. Now, Doc, isn't it also the case that there are some women who may have medical conditions that may make it difficult for them to orgasm?
Yes, so there are medical conditions that would actually make it difficult for a woman to have sometimes hormonal imbalances.
Okay,
They count a lot. There are people who have what we call hypogonadism.
okay.
I mean, their hormones are low, so they don't function optimally as women. It can be same for men too. Men too can have hypogonadism. But since we are talking about orgasms in women, yes, women can have that problem. So hormonal problems that can even affect their lubrication levels, etc.
Okay.
So they may not really get there. Sometimes stresses eventually become mental issues. Stress is a part of mental health.
Yes.
So mental health also is part of it. So anything at all that would build into or dovetail into stress for the woman can actually be a turn off for her getting in there. I mean, he mentioned earlier on, sometimes advancing age may be a factor. Or you got into a certain age where, we have all these chronic diseases you are dealing with. So you're on one medication or the other. So some of these medications may medically
Make it
affect.
difficult.
And that is where I see that at that point, the two people need to understand that this is the level where we are. What do we know? I once met a certain chief, has a very beautiful wife, but he's diabetic. He's trying to control, he does well in controlling his sugar. But he said that the diabetes has actually affected his erection.
Oh,
And he
right.
said, Bisamijere, you need off.
See?
Because he said, we have found other ways to get the pleasure. So it's not about penetration alone. So he gives his wife orgasm, she gets her orgasm, and it still works. So we are just trying to take people's mind off that giving a woman pleasure and orgasm is all about if you are able to penetrate. No.
Yeah.
I mean, interestingly, I have a friend in the US who said, I mean, the man who married her, when he got there, Charlie Power no day, but they have 2 kids. They still have orgasms, they still enjoy. So there are other ways of getting them navigate. So this is what we should invest our minds to. That whilst you are aging, even for men, when you are aging, the power may not be as when you are a young man.
Right.
Yeah, you are likely to last longer because you may take longer for you to ejaculate because your testosterone levels also drop a little. But these are medical conditions. So for women, there are things that do affect. I mean, if a woman has a brain issue, that can affect everything.
Right.
Somebody dealing with brain tumor or maybe something that is cancerous, everything, these things can affect the person's libido. And so, the sex cycle has to do with desire, excitement, orgasm, and then the resolution. So if the desire alone or the libido doesn't come, everything else, you can go and do pound, but you won't get the same result as if everything was there in order. So there are medical things
Very
that can.
interesting. And I mean, I feel that especially for women, when they are growing up, women get to their late 30s, early 40s. I think they begin to enjoy sex much better.
Yeah, there's a thing that when women reach our mid-30s, I'm not there yet, but when we reach our mid-30s, that's when we reach the peak of our sexual performance. Your orgasms are more intense. You tend to your libido can be higher. Yeah, and sex is more enjoyable. My friends in their 30s keep telling me that it's
Yes,
true.
it's true. I can
My
always
30s,
say
it's
that.
true.
Right.
Even your horniness when you're ovulating is extra.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Some of my friends and I discuss it a lot. Like, okay, yeah, we know ovulation horniness and, few days to period horniness. We've always known it's there. But not like, it's like the moment you hit 30, it escalates.
Apparently, the mid-30s is the peak.
Yeah.
When I get there, I'll find out.
30s
But even
and
for now,
early to
I feel
mid-40s.
that. Yeah.
Why is that the case, Doc?
One, let me speak for the women. Okay, I'll speak for both. Depending on when a woman started being sexual. there's a period of inexperience, like naivety. You really, like you started, you don't really know what the whole thing is. Sometimes it just happens. The first time was like, it just happened. Okay, I want to try to, is it? But as the years roll on, you get to know yourself better. You get to know more. And then you become more relaxed. You become more open and desire for it. And it's the same for men. I mean, a lot of men who started, men will judge themselves by how strong their erection is and how long they last in bed. So a lot of men will tell you that the first time they started having sex, it was like, so they don't have any controls over their orgasm or their ejaculation. Premature ejaculation was a problem for a lot of them. But as you go on and on, you gain more experience, you gain more control. And in your 30s, probably into your 40s, now you can actually tell yourself, I can hold back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I keep telling people that I think my greatest tool ever is to know that I decide when to let it go.
Yeah.
So until he's satisfied, I can hold on.
So experience has something to
Exactly.
do with it.
Experience has to
Don't
do
you
with
need to
it.
teach a lot of men that?
Oh yes.
Now you
So,
know your body.
and I
Organize
teach
classes.
some come to the consult. I have couples who come and
Yeah.
the man
Organize
goes
classes.
like, I think I'm worrying my wife.
Yeah.
Because I go to my doc. So sometimes I do it, I say, okay. So sometimes I teach them kind of things I had to go through, how I got there. So I would always wait. Okay, so
Right.
done. 3 or 4
Interesting.
orgasms, and that's okay.
Very interesting. And I think also for the women, because now you get very familiar with your body.
Yeah.
You're comfortable.
Comfortable.
In the beginning,
Yeah.
it's a bit scary. Like, I mean, the first time any man saw my naked body, I was shy. I was so shy. I was like, oh my God, is he looking at me? Is he looking at me? It was crazy. But having knows that now I really don't care.
I think maybe at that
You know?
time, it's easier to communicate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it makes it a whole
Yeah.
lot easier. Okay. Very interesting. We said
And
so much
you
here.
know that when you are young, that you're a bad boy, bad girl thing,
Yeah. So you're
that
so
whole
shy.
thing.
Yeah.
But when you are going, you know that I'm a mature. I'm a
Yeah.
mature woman.
You already
now.
have children. I'm like, what are you?
What are you?
Yes. So, Abena, you mentioned about sex toys early on. I think let's bring that conversation back. And you said that the men were, did you say afraid?
You see sex toys as a competition.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I think maybe uncomfortable. I don't know if it's afraid, but I think it's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. I don't know. I'm not a man, so I wouldn't know. But how can we incorporate that to make women enjoy sex more? Because there's also, there's also a lot of people saying that sex toys are only used by women when they're on their own, by themselves in their room, right?
Yeah.
But isn't there the case where it can be incorporated in like proper sex with a man? So there's me, my man, and the toys.
Absolutely. And it also depends mainly on the needs of the woman.
Yeah.
So for women who can't orgasm through penetration, for example, and it's a thing, like the G-spot, I don't know if it cannot be found. I don't know the technical word for it, but they just can't orgasm through penetration, and that is very normal.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for women like that, they need their clitoris stimulated during penetration.
Yeah.
So they can have like the bullet vibrator, for example. The bullet one is a very tiny one.
Yeah.
So they could have that and, use, ideally, the man can be using his fingers, but why do that when you can use a sex toy instead? So you can use the tiny bullet vibrator. So whilst penetration is going on, you're kissing, you're touching, you're using the vibrator. And even that helps to time your orgasm together with that of your partner. So, we know when you come together, it's nice. You could do that. Even for women who can orgasm whichever way. Some women like plugs in their ass when they're coming.
Yeah.
It's okay, allow them to put it there. That's how they enjoy sex. Some like the nipple ones
the
that they
nipple
put.
plugs.
Yeah, nipple plugs. The women who like their nipples stimulated. Your hands are just two as a man. You can't touch them everywhere at the same time, right? So allow a sex toy to do that for you. There's so many different sex toys that you can include in your sexual activity. You could have the rabbit one. The one that has, is that a rabbit?
It has one part that goes
inside the vagina,
stays
and
on
the
the
one,
clit.
so it's like this. And for that, you could still have it in and still add the penis.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's doable. Yes.
That's what you get the double
Yeah.
penetration. That's if you want more.
Yeah.
So it depends on the woman.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I mentioned earlier that it
I'm sorry, I
depends on
can't
the
see
needs
that.
of the woman.
Personally, I wouldn't want that. I don't like
Yeah.
toys that go inside.
But there are
to
women
me.
who like that.
So,
Right.
yeah,
So,
it
so
works.
you could do that as well. So, like, men need to stop seeing sex toys as a competition. If she wants a sex toy, it doesn't mean you're not good enough. You're still good. The sex toy is just there to add to the pleasure.
Yes.
And like I said, you can't be everywhere at the same time. If she likes her nipples being stimulated whilst the action is ongoing, your hands are busy. Let her put the nipple, whatever, to give her that pleasure. And for you, it also takes a lot of pressure off you, right? You get to also just relax and be in the moment without struggling to do too much.
Yeah.
And also, you both get to enjoy. I mean, sex toys are not for women only.
Yeah.
There are men who like plugs in their asses as well. So you can have that. There are men who likes their nipples being stimulated. You could have that. You could add, there's a thing for the neck, not a choker.
It's called
There's
a
one-
collar. Is it a collar? Is it a collar that's for domination and
Yeah,
submission?
but there's one, I came across it somewhere. It's like, it's a massages
leash?
also.
Okay.
So for the people who like being choked, if you're in a position where you cannot reach the person to choke
You have
whilst
it
they're
to
coming,
hold
you
them.
have that. So it kind of massages and gives a feeling of being choked. There are all these things that, it adds to the pleasure. It's not competing with you. And there's that thing they say that if a woman likes sex toys so much, it means that she doesn't want men. So like, yeah, you prefer your sex toy to men. And that if you use it too much, you won't enjoy sex with men anymore. I like vibrators, I mean, especially the bullet ones. Because, listen,
How many do you have?
I have a whole drawer. I have a lot.
You have a whole drawer. I mean,
Bedside drawer.
You collect that bedside drawer. You collect
I mean,
them?
when I travel, like, there are some sex toys you can't get in Ghana.
Right.
When I travel and I know there's a sex toy around that might have something.
Do you have one in your bag, like at the moment?
No, I don't.
Okay. Ami, do you?
Oh, I don't. Very interesting. I used to carry my rolls. I used to always have a toy in my bag. Okay, I wanted to say more. There's even cock rings for men.
Yeah.
Then cock rings, for some men, they'll tell you it gives them a harder erection. For some men, it helps them delay ejaculation. Even vibrators can be used on men.
Yeah.
There's a part, the perineum, between the scrotum and the anus. You can put the vibrator over there and it feels nice. The
Right.
parts of the penis, you can wrap the vibrator over it. So instead of viewing them as competition, sometimes, like, just to spice things up, just to do something a little different, it's okay. Using cuffs, it's a form of bondage. It adds a little spice to
Doc
it.
is laughing.
Using blindfold.
Yeah.
It's called sensory deprivation.
Doc is laughing.
When one sense is blocked, the others are more heightened.
Yeah.
So with the blindfolds on, you are playing with your partner's
Yeah.
body. It's exciting. Sex is nicer. Please do your research and find out several things you can do. It's not just vibrators and dildos that
And people
exist.
think these are for people who like kinky sex.
Yeah.
It's not. It's for everybody who likes them.
Doc, are you familiar with this conversation?
I know all these things they are talking about.
Okay.
But for me, I think to what extent? And then when would you want to? I wouldn't need these things because I get the job done and it's done excellently. But again, where there's really a problem, I mean, I'm sure because it's a sex therapist,
Yeah.
there are people who actually have sex coach, right?
Yeah.
Yes, people who have real problems.
Yeah.
So there are things like feathers that you can rub and give different sensation. I can understand. So there are other things but for me, the men, whether you like it or they will always feel that way.
They will always
You
feel
know,
that way.
that's how
that
they
the
are
toys
made.
competing
Men
with
are
them.
made with that ego thing. So
I've
a lot of them.
I've had partners who don't feel that way, and it's
Yeah.
great.
Oh, some.
So they
I
should.
must also say that there are some who don't have a problem.
Yeah.
But when these things have to be employed, I think that it should be a conversation between the two.
Okay.
Definitely.
If it shouldn't be, if the person is fine with it, so there are some times that a man can suggest, if you want to, I think that with this thing, can't you employ this? If she agrees to it, that's
Doc,
fine.
do you see yourself being cuffed?
No, me. I don't need that. I
You
mean,
don't need that.
But it's not a matter of
masturbate.
need.
No.
Doc,
For me,
I think it's the thing is that
where there's a
again, a
need-
lot of men think it's a matter of need.
No, sometimes
It's
just
not a
for fun.
need. It's for fun. It's just for.
I can understand
for the
if you want to
pleasure
look
of
at it from that angle.
Yeah.
So if
So
if
you
it
went
becomes
home,
it becomes
Doc,
it
If you
becomes
went home one time and your wife had cuffs and say, "Hey, lay on the bed,"
well, you see,
what would
for
you
me,
say?
if it's
You
something
would
you
say,
want
"What
to
did
do,
this woman eat today?"
if there are things you want to do once a while,
Right.
fine. I mean, for the
Right.
pleasure. As I said, sometimes you want to check. Charlie, me too. I can't do all this. I do
I do this one
Fine.
time.
Which is
It's okay.
okay.
But
Yeah.
when it becomes maybe you want to, unless
Performative.
Okay.
regular
All right.
thing
So
you
let's
do.
let's wrap this up.
So
Abena,
can I say though that I've known men who actually buy the toys themselves.
for the
Oh
women.
yes, yes.
Yes, so they have it. So like it's normal. Like
Right.
men do it, other men do it, and we don't think they are not men enough.
Why do you say
or
it's
their
normal?
penis-
It's
No,
okay.
because I need them
All
to
right,
know
so
that
we're going
it's
to
normal.
now
Yeah.
we're veering into another conversation. Let's wrap this
Maybe
up.
Okay.
Time
get
to go on
another
our
way.
side.
Not that it's
So,
normal.
Abena, yeah, okay.
It
So
is.
Abena, in wrapping up, what would you say?
I would say that first of all, women are very sexual beings. The notion that women aren't very sexual is very false, and we have the statistics and the research to show that women are very sexual. And so I need women to start communicating how they're feeling. Don't care about his ego. Don't prioritize his ego over your sexuality and your orgasm. That is you doing yourself a disservice. It's like you hate yourself. And also, if a man isn't putting in the effort to make you calm, to be in the process with you, to understand your body and please you, that is a waste of sex. Don't do it.
Okay, Doc, in wrapping up, what would you
Yeah,
say?
so I'll say that orgasm is as important to women as it is to men. Mostly women are not able to achieve it largely because of us, the men. We need to work more, understand them, communicate with them. Let's stop thinking about ourselves and let's stop thinking that there is a one-way method of making a woman have orgasm, and rather get the prescription from them. I'll use that word, get the prescription from the woman.
Right.
And sometimes the woman will give you the prescription, not verbally, but by her body language, you would get to know what the prescription is and where to go and what to do. And by so doing, with great communication, I think that we can help our women get to the point where it can increase the percentage, right? The statistics.
Yes.
Close the orgasm.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, because if 30, less than 30% have orgasms through
From
penetration.
penetration.
It's a lot of work for us to do.
Lesbian women have more orgasm than
Then-
sexual women.
I understand that.
Okay, Amy, in wrapping up.
Okay, so first thing I'll say, do not ignore the clitoris, okay? It's there for a reason. Find it and find ways to stimulate it with your fingers, your hands, anything you can find. Do a
Hey,
lot of
anything you
foreplay.
can
No,
find.
anything that, anything that can work to stimulate the clitoris, including vibrators,
Okay.
I mean.
All
And
right.
do a lot of foreplay. Please communicate. And it's okay to pause penetration to do foreplay and go back to penetration. Like pull out and eat it and put it back in. Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay, so where can we find you, Abena? Social media, your handles?
Yeah, I am a difficult she on all platforms. And I also wanted to add that women usually center masturbation on the clitoris and the vaginal hole. Your entire body is for you to play with.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you start playing with your entire body, you'll be surprised that part of your body you'd find very erroneous. So explore, head to
Yeah.
toe.
Okay, Doc, where can we find you really quickly?
Yeah, so my health net SGHOne Medical Center. It's on the Usulabadi Road.
Okay.
Okay, so my handle is Miss Amishika on Twitter, X, and Amishika everywhere else. AMISHIKAH, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming
Thank
today.
you
We
too.
connect, Doctor.
You on me, you on the men.
We're on you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We'll do this again next Saturday at 10 p.m. on GHOne TV. My name is Natalia. Connect with me on social media. Yes, I am Natalia. Good night.